What's going on, guys? So I am back, and I'm here to talk about Doctor Who Series 11. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about episodes 9 and 10. Now, episode 9 was the best episode in the series. Episode 10, however, was the worst episode in the series. Now, first of all, with episode 9, I liked all of the lore that was explored, like the Doctor having 7 grandmas, and even the whole thing about the parallel universe that existed before time itself. I thought that was really interesting. I know a lot of people criticised the Frog and Grace's return, but you have to remember, it wasn't really Grace, and it wasn't really a frog. Like, the universe just took their forms. So, with that being said, I wish the moths were actually Menoptera. For those who don't know what Menoptera are, they were giant moths that were in the William Hartnell story, The Web Planet. Now, in episode 9 of series 11 of Doctor Who, the Jodie Whittaker era, you had the small moths. Now, why couldn't they just have been baby Menoptera? That would have made the whole episode much more interesting, wouldn't it? It's like with the Arachnids in the UK episode, why wasn't that the same spiders that were from the Jon Pertwee story, Planet of the Spiders? Like, that would have made the episode way better if that was the case. I liked Jodie's portrayal of the Doctor throughout this series, but in episode 10, she just got really cringy, and she was just impersonating David Tennant way too much. Like, why can't she just do her own take on the role, like the actors before her have done? Like, why is it so difficult? Like, why do you have to ruin this, BBC? Like, a lot of the blame falls on Chris Chibnall's shoulders. But I guess it's the other people who are writing the stories, not just him. But at the end of the day, like, Chris Chibnall employs them. So, you can see why people are putting most of the blame on him. I mean, we know that Jodie is a phenomenal actress from Broadchurch, but if she's, like, written really bad as the Doctor, then she can't do much with the role. So, in episode 10, Bradley Walsh was phenomenal. His best performance was Graham, but everything else about the episode was utter shite. I'm sorry, but it was. Like, it wasn't proper Doctor Who in my books. Like, Mark Addy's character, he seemed completely pointless, and, like, he should have been used more. Like, he should have had more character development, but because they try and squeeze everything into 45 minutes, it just doesn't work properly. Like, they solve things too quickly. And sometimes the way they solve it doesn't make complete sense. I mean, are we supposed to understand it? Because the Doctor is supposed to be, like, super intelligent, so her intelligence is supposed to be beyond normal human beings. So are we not supposed to comprehend it? Is that what's going on here? Just don't get me started on Tim Shaw coming back. He's a shit villain, so why would you bring him back? Like, I think, like, the BBC got the idea in their heads that this guy was going to be a hit. So, of course, they had to bring him back before they even realised how he was going to go down with the public. Like, because they had already filmed that episode, so they couldn't do anything about it at that point, because it had already been edited. It had already been filmed. Like, it was past the post-production stage. I mean, seriously, you call that a series finale? Like, that was probably one of the shittest, like, series finales I've ever seen in my life. Like, and they showed, like, the coming soon trailer or next time trailer, whatever the bloody hell it's called, for the New Year's Day special. And it's something about the DNA of the most dangerous creature in the universe. Well, that's got to be the Daleks, surely. Like, what else could it possibly be? Otherwise, like, when the Doctor has said that the Daleks are the most dangerous creatures in the universe in the past, that'll just make that whole thing defunct. So it wouldn't make any bloody sense. Ugh. I mean, like, if it is the Daleks, then what is the point in not showing them in the trailer? Because we know it's going to be them. Like, is it because, like, new fans are coming into the show that don't know what the Daleks are yet? I mean, they've been embedded, like, in popular culture for over 50 years. Like, surely, like, they know what fucking Dalek is. Like, like, so stupid. Like, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say we know it's going to be them, because I'm going to look like a fool if it's not them. But, no, but at the same time, I'll take it from a different point of view, where it makes the BBC look foolish for not researching Doctor Who's history properly. So, Jodie mentions the Ghost Monument, then the TARDIS appears. I mean, why have a callback to an episode that wasn't even that good? Like, she could have said time and relative dimension in space. That would have been more cool, wouldn't it? Rather than saying Ghost Monument. Oh, for God's sake. Like, who is writing this stuff other than Chris Chibnall? I have to look into it more. If I can be bothered. Yeah, like, honestly, I could honestly do a better job at writing this stuff. Like, I'm not being vain, I'm just being honest. I mean, even, like, the most brain-dead person in the world could write better stuff than this. Like, oh, God. Anyway, so, what else could I say? Well, there was this scene where Jodie's Doctor said, "Oh, I love wellies. Wellies are cool." And it's like she was impersonating Matt Smith. And she was impersonating David Tennant at the same time. Because remember when, like, Matt Smith used to say, like, fezzes are cool and bow ties are cool and all of that jargon. Even going back to the Ghost Monument episode 2 of the series, she did, like, well, she mentioned Venusian karate or Aikido or whatever the bloody hell it was, but that was to do with the bloody John Pertwee Doctor, wasn't it? So she's trying to impersonate him as well. He'll be bloody turning in his grave, won't he? Don't know what Sean Pertwee, his son, thinks about all this, but I mean, God, like, Sean Pertwee is a legend, by the way. Like, I love him as Alfred in Gotham. Like, he's a phenomenal actor. He needs to be in more stuff. Simple as that. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to be in more stuff, but or maybe he does, and people's just not giving him enough work. I don't know what's bloody happening. I'm sure it's because these bloody, like, black actors are getting loads of jobs now because of diversity and whatnot. Look, I don't have anything against, like, black actors, but, like, you know, like, you gotta be a good quality actor, though. You can't just, like, cast them because of the colour of their skin if they're crap. Like, people, like, attend performing arts courses. They do degrees in these things. Like, they don't just do them for no reason. They do them to actually try and get somewhere in life. I mean, has this escaped certain people's perceptions? Let me go over why I think Bradley Walsh was a phenomenal actor in this episode. It's mainly because you could see the emotion he was trying to get across. Because, how do I put this? He was essentially like, going after Tim Shaw because he murdered his wife. So he was going to kill him. But in the end, he had a change of heart. He was the better man, and he just locked him in the stasis chamber. So, yeah, throughout the episode, the Doctor was trying to stop Graham from killing Tim Shaw, because she even threatened him, saying, "You won't be able to travel with me if you kill him." Because we know that the Doctor is against violence and killing and hurting people. Like, this is the thing. Like, why do people keep saying that this series is trying to push SJW stuff? Like, okay, it is in a roundabout way, but it's nowhere near as bad as Last Jedi. Like, look, I've said this many times, I'm a feminist, but I do think that social justice warriors go too far. I've said this countless times, and I'm not going to change my opinion on that. The Doctor has always been against violence and guns and stuff like that. That has been a constant thing since the series first started in 1963 with William Hartnell. So, like, how come people are only saying that Doctor Who is pushing agendas now when it was pushing agendas way back in 1963? Oh, I don't know, it's bizarre. I mean, call me all of the names under the sun, call me a bloody NPC, I don't give a shit. Because I know, in reality, I'm fighting against the NPCs. So, we will finish with this. My Millennium Falcon cut.